Geoff, thank you so much for joining. I was trying to think back about how many years we'd been working together. What do you? Was it about 2012? Do you think?
Yes, yeah, it was. Yep. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking of the client the other day, who was the first client we worked on together. It was quite a big one to start off with.
Yeah, the farming family.
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
I'm
they're
sorry.
so they're still my clients today. So the whole family.
That's amazing.
So yeah, go on, Tara. Sorry.
Well, so yeah, Geoff, this is for you to share. So I will just ask you a question and then I will stop talking.
Sure.
So yeah, how long have you been project managing and facilitating estate planning for your clients?
Yeah, forever now. So 15 years, Tara. So yeah, it's been a long, quite a long time now. Time flies, and it was quite interesting because I was working as an accountant, and then I moved into a specialist estate succession planning division. So that, after doing some financial planning studies and actually quite enjoying that unit. So that was, yeah, 15, 16 years ago now.
And
So
you've been offering estate planning consistently in your business since then?
ever since, yeah, yep. So it's been a core pillar of what I do, either in accounting or financial planning, and purely as consulting as well. So overlapped all three areas.
And why is that, Geoff? Like, what, you know, because obviously as financial advisors, you've got a lot going on already, and a lot of different areas that you have to be across. Why do you feel like it's important to invest in estate planning for your clients?
Yeah, I guess it's where I started from. I did it before I started providing comprehensive financial planning advice. So to me, it was always the foundation for everything. So it's never been optional. It's always been upfront, and it's actually what I enjoy doing the most, and it's where I find new clients and get referrals, and also builds my relationship with clients, with not only themselves but their children or parents. So yeah, it's a core pillar for me.
Can you tell me a little bit more about finding new clients? So you actually get new clients through offering estate planning?
Yes, yeah. So
Wow.
yeah, well, it's what I tend to talk about most. It's just a bit weird. so, so yeah, I talk about it like someone might talk about the football. So yeah, always topical. So I think when people recognise that that's what you specialise in, they'll identify a scenario or situation and refer, if they know that that's what you really specialise in, I guess. Yeah, it's my niche.
I love that. And Tim Henry, hi. Thanks for joining us as well. Tim, you said when you were doing your live that same thing. Estate planning is really great for lead generation, which makes perfect sense if you're getting your messaging right, and it's you don't have to be a lawyer to help your clients with estate planning. In fact, sometimes I think it helps if you're not a lawyer.
Yeah, that's right, Tara. You the people often say that you're, or other professionals say that you're not a lawyer, and I'll just say I work with very good lawyers, so who specialise in tax and succession, and I just, as you mentioned, project manage, identify issues, understand what's really important, and I think also the key thing is I'm their consistent contact. So when things change, I'm I'm there to suggest ideas and to then I bring in a specialist like that you or your old firm, and their accountant. So they're all, everyone has their specialities, and that, so you don't need to be a lawyer to do what I do.
I think that's an excellent point. It's because you're seeing your clients reasonably regularly anyway, so they're more likely to tell you if something has changed in their life. Whereas for me, it's harder with my clients where I engage with them without someone like you facilitating, because they have to identify that this life event requires an update and then initiate the update with me. And it's a lot harder for me to pick up on what changes happen. So I think it is so perfectly placed to be able to help them get it in place, but also keep it current.
Yeah, yes, that's spot on. And then you're right, you're on the front foot. So they might have sold a business or divorce, death, all those big life of transitioning careers. They're all come back to estate planning, and there's a perfect opportunity or window to then provide some going up the scale advice. So, which is really interesting and helps you progress. So, and the accountant or lawyer, oh, sorry, nearly knocked the phone out, may not be on top of that, or they're flat out doing all their other things, and I'm sort of one step removed from the daily grind. So that's where we fit in.
And Geoff, you mentioned before that you are using different lawyers. How do you set that up? Have you got a panel, or do you just stick with online or a local referral? Do you mind sharing that information?
Yeah. No, I've tried it all. And when I first started 15 years ago, the firm I was with, which is a large accounting firm and very progressive in this area, but they used a lawyer in the same building. And so I looked further afield by attending seminars and other things, and then I really settled on a way that fits in with the way I work, and I do a lot of work in the country, so I can't take a lawyer with me, so I do prefer virtual legal services.
Yeah.
And the client comes into my office here, or we do a three or four-way hookup, and so that works best for me. And also I do like fixed pricing, because that way the client knows where we're heading up front, and everything's fleshed out at the beginning, no surprises.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I've ended up, I guess. And I do prefer working with estate planning specialists who know a lot more than I do. So
yeah, because I mean, it's not about you giving legal advice or compromising your insurance cover or doing anything like that. It's just you've got the relationship with the client and are able to motivate them to move forward. And as Tim said in his comment, you're the hub to bring in the right people to serve the client. So it's not about you giving kind of legal advice.
Yeah, and sorry,
on that, enough to choose the right people, right specialists, don't you?
I think you need to upskill yourself and sort of be engaged in training and CPD, so that it's a constant learning. I think I've attended 3 webinars in May on estate planning. So you've got to keep up to date. Elder fraud, there's so many different things which impact estate planning and continue to develop. Tax laws change every day. But yeah, sorry, on the technology, Tara, when I first started, it was pretty much manual. word processing, handwriting, and now with technology, I think I would save 50% of my time that I used to prepare or do estate plans. So cost has not changed much, but it costs me less, I guess, to do it.
Well, I mean, that comment ties in really well with Tim's question. Thanks so much for sending that through, Tim. So do you have a fixed fee that you just quote everyone? Like, do you put it on your website, or do you quote a client case by case?
Yeah, I do have a price sheet, which I show the clients when I meet with them. I don't put it on my website. But I range, from, young family, young couples, all the way to intergenerational wealth transfers. So there's a huge range in price there. So I do fix my price. I don't add on, but I scope it out up front and tell them what my costs are. Then I get a fixed quote from the legal firm as well.
So what I want to know is, and you don't have to share details, and you don't have to answer this at all, but do you charge for your service? Like, is it a profitable part of your business doing the estate planning?
Yeah, I charge for sure. Yeah, so,
yeah, great.
Because I guess that's all I used to do to earn a living was estate and succession. So if I didn't charge, I probably would be hungry.
Yeah. So much value to the process by actually getting it done. And, as from my end as a lawyer being briefed by, someone like you, it's so much more efficient because you get the right information to me directly. It's verified. So I think you're adding a huge value to the process. And I like what you're saying because, I think there'll be a lot of financial advisors and accountants watching us now and the replay. And if they're not really dealing with estate planning in their business, like the statistics are, there's about 75% of Australians don't have an up-to-date estate plan. So if you can make money on the process and your clients are already there needing this service, it's just a no-brainer way to add an extra revenue stream.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure, Tara. And the other thing which I'll probably look back, why do I do it, is because you can add so much value. So it's really the client gets a very good, you take them from where they are now to where they are when they finish with you, and it's totally different. And so that's the real value. And I've uncovered lots of, just by going through a thorough process, fact-finding, family tree, you can uncover enormous opportunities for the client. So it's not just about death, it's about living and how do they structure their business. So it's a bit hard, but just by doing that due diligence, you then can work with their other advisors, and between the two of you can add enormous value.
Yeah, I like what you said. It's not about death, it's about living. So like estate planning, it doesn't have to be morbid and depressing. Like
No.
You can actually frame the conversation in a really positive, meaningful, purposeful way that, as you say, builds trust and strengthens the relationship whilst, serving this need. 100% of your clients will die, so 100% should have an estate plan sorted.
Yeah, and it leads into the more, sophisticated tax planning strategies, which, the accountants can add enormous value by restructuring and positioning them for growth and to minimise tax, because as you say, they're all going to we're all going to die one day. So you might as well get the best structure possible and be as tax efficient as possible and asset protective. So that's I think it's probably an understated thing is how much you can actually help their other advisors and in the work that they do. Not that you get a lot of recognition for that, but you do.
I mean, that's it. You're on the front line of everything, really, and so many opportunities to help just maximize the estate planning, asset protection, tax, the super strategy.
Yeah.
So you talk about it with your clients up front or at the end of the other advice process?
It's the first thing. So we do. I don't do it as a traditional throwaway line. You need to see a lawyer. But it's done before the plan's actually implemented. So it's because there's everything you do, like setting up a pension or investing in a trust. It all has an estate planning outcome or consequence. So blended families, elderly parents, so they're all need to be sorted or considered before you present a financial plan. Yeah, and by doing it up front, obviously you're delivering value. So.
And Geoff, you told me the other day that you have a 99.99% success rate in motivating your clients to commit to doing their estate planning.
No, it's got to be up there. 15 years and maybe only one or two haven't gone ahead. So
that's amazing. You must be doing something right.
I think, when it's purely estate planning, obviously I go quite deep into, what is estate planning, mapping it out, flip boards and things like that. Asking a few questions, and it's not hard to find a few things you can help them with or value, and once they understand that, then it's pretty easy to move forward. And then of course you've got that's from very mum and dad, young family through to successful business people selling their business. It's all, and everywhere in between, they all have needs and things you can tap into.
And the types of things you tap into, is it more like emotional, family fears and issues, or do you go with like the tax aspects or the protection aspects? Yeah,
well, the husband and wife, they're generally focused on different things. So peace of mind, family wealth preservation, more emotional things. They appeal to just about everybody. And then, of course, when you can save some tax, and that ticks the boxes for a lot of business people as well. So, and I think, it is the feeling emotional, because it's not purely numbers. And you're you're giving advice on, what the future might look like. So, and how would you feel about that? A legacy, all those things.
And do you find, like, first time you bring it up, great, they're in, they're signed up, or does it take a few conversations to get them to actually commit?
No, just one, yeah.
Secrets! Well, yeah, I love it.
Well, yeah, I think if they're referred as well, they're referred for the right reasons. So, and fixed pricing helps, and having all the tools at your disposal.
Geoff, we're giving you a new nickname. You're the closer from now on.
It's not as good as Queen of Wills, though.
I mean, that's great, because I often find sometimes people do take a few conversations to go, went to when they prioritize it. So it really good, like direct feedback that your process and, you know, the way that you're talking about it with your clients is working.
Yeah, no, I think so. Well, it's what I enjoy, so I guess that comes through. And
so, I mean, that's been so valuable, Geoff. You've been doing it for a long time. Anything, insights as to what you used to do that you don't do now, or that you wish you knew earlier?
I think the technology has really changed things dramatically. When I started out, there was a very good estate planning lawyer, and his quote for, you know, comprehensive wills, EPAs, and it was $5,000. That's 15 years ago. So it's so you can have all that now for, you know, $1,000 to $2,000, and so back then there wasn't much room for me to, not much room left for me for a simple, you know, mum and dad sort of process. So technology is really enabled to deliver the advice cost effectively, and it's accessible for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, you know me, I'm so passionate about that, and part of the eLawyer and the View Legal, you know, wave of early exploration into that field. But, you know, really, you're right, it has transformed everything. In the course, I have a evaluation of all the online providers who deliver estate planning documents, and I think there's about 8 of them that, you know, you could potentially, and that's just the best, you know, the cream of the crop, because there's others who, you know, do online estate planning documents, but they don't do testamentary trusts, or just there was no advice with it or anything like that. So it's just, I feel like this market is just going, you know, better and better, and that just makes opportunities for, you know, project managing the process even better. Because from a client perspective, sometimes too much choice is overwhelming, but from your perspective, you know, the technology is just going to make the legal costs much more affordable, which means people who previously would have said, well, my choice is no will or a post office will or $5,000.
Yeah. And also you can deliver it from anywhere, anytime as well. It doesn't, you don't have to be sitting across the table from the lawyer or the client for the whole process. There's little bits and pieces might be important, but you can have quite a broad reach.
Tim's just asked, so with relation to technology, what else could assist the process? So I've got some thoughts on that. Any that you want to share as well? Are you doing anything with extra technology beyond like Zoom meetings and online legal instructions?
Yes, yep. so the so with I was an early adopter of the online eLawyer, actually. So I've always looked for innovation, and my software package that I use has a really quite neat estate planning module as part of it. And
is that Astute Wheel?
Yes, yeah, it is. And I think that's been refined and enhanced over the years, and it's very good to put that up in front of the clients, and it gives them a really good visual representation of where their assets are owned, a family tree. It just enables you to roll through the process efficiently, and then so you're capturing 80% of what you need, really, and virtually or in the office physically. So
you use that in your client meeting for them, because they can, like, it's almost gamified the family tree, hasn't it?
Yeah, yes, it has, yeah. So yeah, the conversation is very important around it, but I used to draw it up on a board. So rather than the client seeing the back of me writing on a board, it's all, we're looking at the same screen, and they can be anywhere as well. And it's all populated for you. I don't have to put in their age, full name, date of birth.
Yeah, okay, because it integrates at your end. And then there's also APIs to Redchip, ULegal, Legal Hub, all of them, right?
Yes, yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
You just send it off to them and it's done.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah. So do you have many people in your team who do estate planning? Are you a pretty lean machine?
Yeah, very lean. So, yeah, I can do it all.
You don't need an army of admin people because you're using this software to. Yeah,
the only thing I do is I'm in a co-working space, so I just go and get someone to help me witness the documents. That's all.
Love it. Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I mean, I think that's great for people listening because you don't have to be like, oh, it's just me, or we're a very small team, and how we don't have the resources to put behind this, because you don't need an army. You can just do it, as one person or a couple of people, and there's technology to help you do it, and you just have to start, basically.
Yeah. I don't have hundreds of clients, but yeah, I don't have hundreds of clients. Yeah, I think if I was in a bigger practice, then it would be good to train up the team to be part of the process as well.
Yeah. Geoff, Lucy's just asked a question about Astute Wheel. So Lucy, I don't know if you know about Astute Wheel, but it's financial planning software, but it has an estate planning element. Does anyone know if you can get it without the financial elements?
Yes, you can, Tara. Yep.
You can. Cool. Okay, so the question is, with the family tree that it generates, does this include where the assets fall after death, or is it just the basic family tree? I can't remember.
No, not it does, actually. It does. Yep. Yeah.
Because it's like one or two testamentary trusts, and then it sets those up as well.
Yeah, so roughly, yeah. You can get an idea about it anyway. It's not the nth degree, but it's pretty good. Yep.
And it produces a full report, doesn't it?
Yeah, an estate planning briefing paper.
Yeah.
Which the clients can sign off on. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, Lucy, I think it's cutting edge. I haven't looked at it since I was on the team at ULegal who was doing the integration to make sure that the Astute Wheel data that came through to us mapped with our process, so we got everything. So I haven't looked at it since then, which was about 2 years ago. So I'm sure they've done even more of it, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's other advisors who I'm aware of who didn't really have a big background in estate planning, and they're really getting into it and having a lot of success. Yep. So yeah, that would have been handy when I started 15 years ago. Automation.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's, to me, the main message that I think is a big takeaway for people who aren't getting involved in estate planning yet but want to. It doesn't have to be that hard to project and manage and facilitate it, and you just have to start. And there's a whole heap of resources and tools out there now to help you get it up and running, and it just doesn't have to be hard anymore.
Yeah, compared to what it was 15 years ago, it's sort of, I don't think you can not do it anymore. You really need to be involved as an advisor.
Love it. I love it. Exactly. I think, you just have, that's it. You just have to offer it now. It's part of, I mean, I'm so interested to hear what's going to happen in the risk landscape, in the sense of, if you're writing insurance, if you're setting up super, is it enough to just have that one liner in the statement of advice saying, get your estate planning done? Like, and who, I don't know. I think arguably, yes, it is now, but where, I don't know, how far is that duty going to extend for advisors?
Yeah, and not to mention self-managed super funds. So,
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, so all the estate planning issues there, which have been the forefront for a long time now, and continue to be a new case every year, or a few.
I know. I mean, I feel like it's every month. Even there's someone fighting about binding nominations.
Yeah, that's right.
Tim Henry. Yeah, no, it's not enough. I think. I think everyone knows my opinion. I think absolutely you got to get involved and start doing it, and it makes sense on so many levels. You know, in terms of it's profitable. Your clients are sitting there with this need, waiting to be served by you. You connect in with the generation above and below. You strengthen the relationship. You identify other areas where you can add value, and
the other thing, Tara, is the more of the. I think it's the next big thing. So so you've raised it at your webinar. So you have it as part of the conversation. So and that helps. So it's a different way of looking at estate planning. It's not just all the legal, technical, tax issues. It's sort of important part of family discussions and family wealth preservation.
Yeah, and I personally feel that you guys, like the financial advisors and accountants, you do that better than us lawyers. Not every lawyer, and that's very generalized, but I feel like you've been working on that part of your soft skills for much longer than we have in your industry.
Yeah, Tara, when I was a purely consultant, that was the problem, is that you'd see a client, you'd do your best, do good work, but then you wouldn't see them until something happened. And it was that gap in between where I thought you're missing the real value. Is it's what happens next. So, and that's where a lawyer is sort of one step removed from it. It's the advisor who has constant contact with them, and the children are getting older. They're doing their own thing, business sold, as I mentioned before. So yeah, it's that you need to be in constant contact with them, and the advisor's in the right spot for that.
Yeah, I so agree. Well, I don't actually know what time it is. I think we're almost finished our half hour. I forgot to bring a clock on my watch. But Geoff, that's been so insightful for me, and I'm so grateful for you taking the time to share your thoughts on it. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with?
I just think it's such a great area to be involved in. It sort of impacts people's lives, and as an advisor, it's where you want to be, part of what they do, and helping them on their journey. So it's not a morbid topic at all. So it's really interesting, and I'm still, even though it's been the new black, as one of your old colleagues used to say, for a long time now, it's still a lot of scope to get in there and become engaged in it and become very knowledgeable.
Well, Geoff, I love your work. I think you're one of the advisors at the forefront of this, leading the way. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your experience and your insights. It's been very generous. So we'll let you go on with the rest of your day. And
Thanks, Tara. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I'll tag you, so if anyone wants to get in touch and find out more, or if there's a lot of lawyers in the group as well who, if they've got clients in Western Australia. So do you want to tell everyone where you're based, Geoff?
Yeah, I'm in Scarborough Beach, so Scarborough Beach, Perth.
But you do travel around and service.
Yeah. I'm a regular visitor to the Esperance area and working with a lot of farmers there. I have been all over WA, but yeah, they're the Perth and Esperance are my main two areas at the moment.
So yeah, if you've got any clients who need a good advisor over in Western Australia, Geoff is your man. So I'll leave your details in the video as well, so everyone knows how to get in touch with you.
Thanks, Tara.
Thanks, Geoff. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Take care.